Welcome to today's RTMA technical analysis, September the 27th. Disclaimer, suggested entry and exit points are only suggestions based on available information, and this information is both time sensitive and for educational purposes only. Right, we warn new students. We have a number of students that have signed up recently. This RTMA session is for your information only. Please do not act on the stock suggestions. Right, we have happening in Asia, September 26th, Sunday night, at approximately 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. You see the Asia Pacific stock set to slide. Investors await Chinese industrial profits data for August. Obviously, we have still not received the opening sessions for Asia, but we will continue on looking at what the potential will be. Yeah, also have to note that futures pointed to a lower open. Chinese industrial profits data for August is to be released later today at 9:30 a.m. Hong Kong, Singapore time on Monday, which would be our 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock Monday morning. Early projections on Sunday pointed to a knife edge result in German federal elections as the country looks to replace Angela Merkel after 16 years. Okay. U.S. pre-market at approximately again 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. The Dow futures are up 83 points. The S&P futures flat at positive 5.75. NASDAQ futures flat at negative 3.25. Oil is sitting at 74.69. And the 10-year Treasury is 1.4 flat. Stock futures rise in overnight trading after market ends a wild week in the positive or green territory. Breaking news, German elections. Germany's Social Democrats hold a narrow lead in the race to succeed Angela Merkel. The election is significant as voting took place on Sunday between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. German time, and we'll have actual details answers tomorrow. The North American markets, a 3-month daily, and you can see from the chart here, they have all been moving in sync, and with the NASDAQ leading at some point in early September. But the September 20th China real estate collapse led to a decline on September 20th. We'll talk about that in a little while, but you see the upturn in the next few days. All right, we sent out an email notice on September 20th at 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. The question we had was, is China going to collapse? Based on your answer, should you buy or sell, or has the world ended again? Interesting responses we got, but anyway, what are you going to do? And we gave you some data again, basically showing what's been happening around the world. Hopefully, you had the time to read it. And then in the evening of that day, 20th September, at 8:17 p.m., we shot out an email, I think, suggesting stock tracking. The number of names, 8 names, I think we gave you, and we asked you to track them. All right, those 8 names here, the results we have on September 20th. We had recommended NFI, New Flyer, at 20. Well, there was a buy at 23. We bought at 23. We sold it at 24.75. We made $1.75 or 7.6%. In our RSP account, we made 200 shares, 75 in the TFSA. So we spent about 4,600 and 1,700, making a profit of 350 on the RSP sides and 131.25 on the TFSA. CTC 188.50, sold at 193, $5 profit, 2.7%, 50 shares, 25 shares, 9,500, about $5,000, $250 profit, 125. CNR, 147, 149, $2 profit, 1.4%, 50 shares, 25 shares, 7,350, 3,670, $100, 50 cents. I'm sorry, $50 on the TFSA gain. FSV 238, 244.50, $6.50, 25 shares, 5,900, $162.50. CM 143.50, sold at 146, $2.50, 1.7%, 50 shares, 25 shares, 7,000, 3,500, 125, 62.50. BMO 125, 128, $2.50, 2%, 50 shares, 25 shares. Then we have Toramont, TIH, 102.50, 108, $5.50, 5.4%, 50 shares, 25 shares, 275, 137. Royal Bank, 125.50, 128, $2.50, 2%, and 50 shares, 25 shares. And so the total exposure we had on the RSP account, we had 52,000 exposed, invested, a capital investment, and then we had another 28,500 in the tax-free savings account. So, all right, so we had put out of what, approximately 80,000, about 80,000. We made back 1,512 in the RSP and almost $800 in the TFSA. Approximately 3% return, which is phenomenal. We beat inflation, or at least matched inflation. That was good. And for those of you who maybe were not sure, you could have picked one or two names, you still made some money. And you probably bought more shares on the one single name. And we were, I guess, somewhat chicken, buying 50 shares and 25 cents, 25 shares. And hey, still, you never knew what was going to happen, right? In the next 3 days. So a 3% return on capital invested was pretty good. If you didn't take part of this and you're still holding some of these names, that's okay. They will all turn around. The fourth quarter results are coming soon, so look out for them. All right, let's look at the TSX 10-day 30-minute chart. It closed at 20,402, approximately 400 points up and 400 points down. And that's what the state of affairs seems to be. It seems to be around a 20,000 mark at the support side and 20,800 on the resistance. We look at the rising uncertainty about the Evergrande's ability to pay interest on the dollar-denominated bonds, weighed on the sentiment, weakness in Europe markets, and rather sluggish trend on Wall Street rendered the mood cautious. So if you don't know what Evergrande is all about, then you have not been reading your emails. Also, check with the fundamental side. They talk about that. Week ahead, investors will be keeping an eye on the ISM manufacturing PMI and PCE inflation and the developments surrounding Chinese real estate developer Evergrande. Federal Chair Powell will testify on coronavirus and the CARES Act before the Senate, and the lawmakers will try to pass a funding plan to avoid a government shutdown on October 1st. Also, 2 days ECB forum on central banking should give us clues on the monetary policy outlook. Traders also will pay attention to the outcome of the German federal election. So these are important things that you need to keep an eye out as you look through the news during the week. Also, keep an eye on our Facebook. We tend to post those details very quickly. All right, economic calendar between September 27th and October the 1st, which is the week. You have on Monday the 10-year bond auction. On Tuesday, you have the weekly earnings year over year for July, and that will move the market. And then you have PPI, and these will move inflation figures. This will tell you about the inflation. I'll give you an idea about the inflation. Then you have the business barometer, and the most important, I think, is the GDP month over month and the market manufacturing PMI for September. So on Friday, there'll be that shaking and taking and tangling movement in the market depending on these figures. Banks, 3-month daily, and here you see right here. Sorry, yeah, right here on your right hand side, banks all took a little dip there. Quickly they came down. China contagion based on Evergrande. Minimal impact on Canadian banks. We think there's only a minimal impact on Canadian banks. And of course, the other challenge will be Trudeau's bank tax policy. Could cause short-term share price volatility. And we are seeing that already. Trudeau won the elections, unfortunately. Well, okay, let's not say that. Trudeau won the election, so he's probably going to put some kind of tax on the banks. But earnings season is coming up, right? The final quarterly, at least for the banks, and end of October, I believe, their year end. So you will see possible increase in share buybacks and dividend payout increases. We expect quite a few companies to bless the shareholders by increasing dividend payout and possible share buybacks at a fixed price. So look out for those things. Royal Bank itself, it closed at 127.90. In the third quarter, the bank produced 4.3 billion. Okay, so the fourth quarter, we expect that to be pretty high as well. And you can see here the ex-dividend date, October 25th, the record date, October 26th. And of course, the dividend payout will be on November 27th. I'm sorry, 24th. And then you have, the dividend amount for that quarter will be $1.08, at least is forecast right now. They may increase it, they may not. We'll have to wait and see. So this is a 5-day, 15-minute chart, so we're not worrying about the technical indicators. You can do that on your own, but we expect as we come closer to the year end for these banks, the stock prices will start to rise. TD, pretty much the same, 83.26 it closed. It paid 3.5 billion in the last quarter, third quarter. Its ex-dividend date is very close, October 27th. 8th is the record date, and payment will be on the 31st of 0.79 cents payout. Again, you see the market, it has already moved on from the September 20th decline. It come off from 81 to 83, pretty good. Gold and US dollar index, 3-month daily, and you see gold closing at 1751. And here's what you need to remember. Whenever the US dollar goes up, gold comes down, and we see the trend there. The blue line is the US index, and it's gone up, and gold coming down. Gold declined amid rising prospects of the Federal Reserve beginning to reduce its bond purchases before the end of the year. Concerns about the possible impact of Chinese real estate major debt woes on the global financial market may trigger some interest in gold. So gold may just pop up a little bit as we get more details on this company's debt problems. So that's where gold and US dollars stands. Looking at crude oil, it's gone above 74 now. We already know that earlier on this market brought up. And the reason for gold prices climbed on tighter supplies. Recent data showing a drop in U.S. crude oil inventories and output disruptions due to the hurricanes supported oil price, but the public auction of the state crude reserves by China limited in advance, so that was capped. It would have gone a little higher had China not started auctioning off its state reserves. But it can't do that for long, so we watch for oil prices to move differently. Now, before we move on, we didn't put any thing on Enbridge. The Enbridge Minneapolis line problems, line 3, the fundamental side, you will listen to what's going on there. So pay attention to that. Our regular classes on your left-hand side, you see on Tuesday, September 28th, TA Module 3, Bollinger Bands at 8 p.m. Then you have on the Tuesday, sorry, it should be Wednesday, not Tuesday, Wednesday, Federal FA Module 3, Sector Analysis, 9 p.m. Thursday, September 30th, TA Module 2, Technical Indicators, 9 p.m. And then we have special classes, advanced class at 8:30 p.m., dealing with inflation. And then we have charting software on Tuesday, I believe it's, yes, on Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. You know, in case those who wanted to do the regular class and then catch the second class on charting software. Okay, that's only half an hour, so sign up for it. So that's all we have. So next week is going to be a wait and see week. See how September ends and how October is about to begin. We have a number of important things that may come out, particularly the German elections, as well as the GDP figures. So we'll just have to wait and see how things move along. So relax, take it easy. And just a point to let you know, I had a wonderful coffee time with an old client, a client of ours who still has been with us since 2005, I believe, within the first year of our opening. We had a farmer and his family. I'll give you his first name, Gary, since I didn't ask him his permission to speak about him. He's going to be 90 on February 13th next year. It's amazing. This young man, we had nice coffee. We had a great time of chatting about coffee. He's still trading. He's doing well on his trading. And we had an interesting review of how he was able to buy combines from his trading account, and amazing. He just obviously he's not trading now, but he's in a retired home with his wife. So I just wanted to tell you that, you know, some of these guys have done extremely well, and at close to 90, he's still doing great. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Have a great trading week.